For decades, people around the world have displayed a range of special powers and abilities. These powered beings came together and built superpowered cities to thrive in. My name is Angus, and I'm a journalist for the Daily Deposit. My partner Sal and I interview the citizens of Super City, investigating incidents and exploits, and helping where we can, holding the powerful accountable. Because heroes don't do paperwork. Hello, super citizens, and welcome to Heroes Don't Do Paperwork, the only podcast about events both big and small in Super City. I'm one of your hosts, the newly super Angus, joined by my co-host, the always super Sal. Oh, hey, buddy. Oh, yeah, you're a little sleepy today.
I am. I've had a couple of late nights.
Yeah.
Lately, trying to follow up on the story I've been writing about. It's about a new. Sorry, you know what? Finish your introduction.
No, well, this is the thing. I mean, Sal and I, listeners, you guys know, if you're new to the show, Sal and I are journalists in Super City, and we are, we're writing stories. We're telling the truth about what's going on in Super City. Some of us, Sal, I'm working on my origin story right now. Now that I finally got something that makes me special. I can't. Trying to figure out how to write that, intrepid journalist tangles with maniac scientist and super origin. So I'm still kind of trying to work out that, but yeah, you haven't really been telling me much about this story you're working on. You've been really keeping it close to the chest. I wanted to.
Well, it is still an emerging story.
Okay.
And the problem is, it's about a new, potentially new masked vigilante that has taken to the streets.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And it's been going on these past couple of nights, relatively recent. I've been just sort of trying to follow up on those that have been saved by this individual. It's just the profile I'm building of this vigilante is rather interesting.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, I mean, maybe I can help you out with it.
Yeah, a lot of non-lethal takedowns, a lot of bound up individuals.
Oh, cool. Okay, that's good. A lot of heroes in Super City kill people. I know. I think it's way better if you just you tie up the bad guys and you let the police sort it out.
Get this. This vigilante has a tendency to do like an interrogation.
Oh, interesting.
On the scene.
Yeah.
We're asking a lot of poignant questions like who do you look up to?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Would they be proud of what you're doing right now?
Oh, interesting.
It's they're absolutely crushing questions to ask someone committing a crime, and and the thing is, each of the people who I've managed to interview so far say that these interrogations go for 30 to 45 minutes.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Interesting. Oh, that's
really they actually get pretty candid at times. It seems like he builds an actual rapport.
Yeah. Just gets them to open
they're
up.
Arresting. Yeah.
Gets them to open up, maybe share something about themselves. Oh, that's so fascinating. Interesting. Huh. Just out of curiosity, has anyone gotten a good look at this man or woman or person? All shapes and sizes here.
Best thing I've got to go on at the moment is that they are vaguely camel shaped.
Okay.
They've got a large hump.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, that's good. I mean, that's so tough. Because you've got, the story you're trying to tell, and then you've got this vigilante out there fighting bad guys and righting wrongs, and you want to meet this person for. I guess you want to interview this person, I guess, or?
Well, so here's the thing. Shart is a little upset with this individual because they're not registered. They're not a registered hero. So, of course, Shart's involved. And Shart's not going to let you save people without getting their cut.
Yes. Yeah, that is the superhuman action response team, big on getting their cut, really, really monetizing the act of helping other people, which is arguably
they managed to bring microtransactions to the crime.
Yes, I've seen some heroes recently. Some heroes recently will have a politeness microtransaction where they'll save you, but you got to like swipe your card or tap, probably tap. Most people do tap. If you want the hero to like be polite to you, and that's like
I
an extra.
saw
Yeah.
I saw a hero that was trying to evacuate a burning building
Hmm.
and was a little slow about it. And
Yes.
so one of the citizens is like, "Can you speed this up?" He's like, "I can do it if you give me 20 crystals."
Yep. Yes.
You had to use
No.
20 crystals to
That
speed
was
up the job.
that was the velvet rope. I saw that. Yes, the
Mhm.
velvet rope had that. They set up they cordoned off that burning building, and they would check a list. They would let people through. They'd clip the velvet rope back on. That was a tragedy. I just wish someone else had gotten there in time, maybe to help those people. You know.
Yeah.
Well, hey man, I just, take it easy with this story. You're tracking down this vigilante. Sometimes I find, when I'm getting close to a story and I get stumped, maybe it's best to just let that go for a bit and focus on a different story. You know what I mean? Focus on something else.
I can't quite put my gravity belt on it,
Hmm. Hmm.
but there's something nagging at me about this
Yeah.
story, and I really want to see it through to completion.
Do you have any like killer clues or anything like that? Is there anything left
Um,
behind at any of the scenes or anything?
Anything left behind at the scenes? Let me think if there was something left behind at the scenes. Check my notes here. Uh, the only thing that
Hmm.
is so the thing is
Yeah.
this vigilante, I'm assuming, is still trying to get situated. They
Yeah.
probably don't have all their resources lined up. So they are leaving a message at
Yeah.
every scene.
Oh, cool. Oh, interesting. Yeah. Oh, good. I'm
Well,
glad.
let's see. Here's the thing:
Yeah.
is that it's written in chalk, so it's
Hmm.
wiping away a bit by the time I get to see it.
Oh, okay.
But based on what words were visible, uh, I'm guessing the secret
Hmm.
message is along the lines of there is a right way to do things,
Okay. Yes. Okay. Okay. Okay.
and
All
that
right. Good.
which is a weird phrase
Yeah.
to leave
It's
at a site of heroism, but
well, it's not very pithy.
it's
It's
not.
which is people have a problem with that in Super City. I don't know what it is. People are adverse to picking like the most, to the point
We go
slogans.
highest common denominator.
Yeah. um, um well hey man, I really I think I almost want to like partner up with you for this story, and maybe you and I could work on this together in the future. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that would be a very big help.
Yeah.
Uh, I do need to get a photo of this individual.
Okay. Yeah.
I need to get a photo of them.
Well, I've got a camera.
You've got a
I've
camera,
got
right?
this camera, and I've started taking some pictures. And granted, the first couple didn't take the lens cap off. That's going to affect them. But I'm getting better with this camera. So maybe we can go out together.
Okay,
And
okay.
I already feel like this might be an episode in the future. Maybe you and I could go out together, and we'll try and figure out try and figure out who this brave hero is that's like fighting wrong, and
Now, I've talked a lot about myself.
uh-huh.
Let's see what you've been up to. You're actually looking pretty tired yourself.
I'm very tired. I'm not gonna lie. I'm very tired, and I'm not like a coffee drinker.
No.
So I get me. I dabble in energy drinks,
Yes.
and this is probably a
You
bit different.
always get the fuel can size
Mhm.
at the
Yes, the
corners.
jerry can.
The
Yes, yeah,
jerry can.
yeah. I drink my energy. Yes, yeah, yeah. 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 It's called psychotic energy. I drink probably a jerry can and a half a day.
Yeah.
And it really helps me not have to sleep, which is nice.
Mm-hmm.
And it's tough, honestly, with this. So, listeners, I mean, if you guys aren't following every episode, very seriously, last episode, Sal and I were in an experimental lab, and well, hey, I gotta say, your boy finally got some superpowers. I have a giant fleshy bag on my back full of podcasting equipment, and that's cool and all for podcasting, terrible for sleeping. So
Yeah,
I've been having a hard time
you
sleeping.
were historically a back sleeper,
I
but
was, yeah.
it's hard to sleep on a hump.
I used to sleep on my back, arms crossed, Dracula pose.
Mm-hmm. But and I only know this because I was doing a sleep review with you.
That's
You
right.
had to switch to doing side sleep.
That's true. I'm side sleep now. I got, I've got my arm under a pillow. I'm generally hugging something.
Hmm.
Um, if I'm in a nice apartment, it's a pillow. Current setup right now, it's my backpack. But
That backpack hump of yours has
yeah.
got some give to it. You would think that it's like tight to the back because
Oh yes,
you don't want it
yes.
loose.
I well
But
I was
you got some wiggle room with it.
Well, it moves around a bit more than I was thinking originally, and I was just thinking of my canvas backpack because I can't wear that on the back anymore. But yeah, no, I can. I think with a little bit more practice, I can kind of work this into like almost like a beanbag type setup and really
Right.
have it support and cradle my head, and maybe even God willing, maybe even someday have it hug me back because that's the best, right? Being a little spoon, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
I've
Sal knows
Hey,
what I mean. Sal, we've lived together. We've lived together. We raised a fish mutant child together.
we have
We've spooned.
we
It's fine.
look, listeners. This may make you feel uncomfortable, but if you ever get to know the pleasure of raising a fish monster,
Mm-hmm.
then you will come to appreciate a nice tender spooning session with your family.
Absolutely. Just a big old cuddle puddle.
Just a big old cuddle puddle. There's
Yep.
nothing wrong with that, listeners.
Nothing wrong.
Nope. I miss Dex.
I
This
do
is
too.
this is probably out of all of the loose ends we've ever had in this show.
Yeah.
Dex is
Yeah.
the one that has pierced my heart the most.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll probably honestly, you know what? We should probably launch some kind of formal investigation into our
Yeah, into that douchebag cult.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a whole thing, listeners. And if you want more context, well, sorry, you're gonna have to go back and listen to 76 more episodes.
You have to start from the beginning. You need all of the background information
Mhm.
to appreciate all the subtext we jam pack into every episode.
Yeah. Well, so Sal, I know last thing I wanted to talk to you about before the break, we we just got done with our rental units,
Mhm.
containment cages, we'll say, at that lab.
Quarantine cubes.
Quarantine cubes, containment units, all these things. We are done with those.
Mhm.
We've decided to not stick around with the experimental lab anymore.
Nope.
And we've got other places to stay. I know like I said, I haven't been sleeping, so I've just been kind of wandering around the city. Every now and then I'll kind of like I'll find a nice fire escape or like a rooftop to just kind of chill on, and I'll hang out up there and sometimes catch a fewsies. But where are you sticking out right now? Like where are you holding up?
So I know I said I was done with experiments. And
Oh,
this is technically not an experiment.
Sal.
It's a sleep study.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Sleep study. Yeah.
Hmm.
So you get like a bed to sleep in, most likely,
No,
right?
that's part of
Oh
the study.
no, no.
So I do get 3 hots and a roof over my head.
Hot meals?
No, sorry, I should have clarified. I get 3 hot rocks to lie on top of and a roof over my head.
And a roof over your head. Well, that sounds kind of nice. And so people
It's
watch
not,
you. It's
but
not.
I'm dry. I'm
But you're
very
dry.
dry,
Yeah.
which is good. Which
You
is good.
dry?
So, if you're that curious about understanding the sleep
I
study,
kind of am.
the idea is, does moisture negatively impact one's ability to sleep? So, as a control, they had me
Mhm.
sleep outside in a rainstorm.
Mm-hmm.
And I will admit, the moisture was a factor in me not having a good night's sleep.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, they brought me indoors and they put me on 3 hot rocks.
Mm-hmm.
And they made hot doesn't do the temperature justice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Scalding.
Scalding. Yeah. Enough to burn through a shirt, clearly.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's like someone left 3 large irons on my outfit today.
Oh, jeez. At least everywhere else where it's not burned, nicely pressed.
And I'll admit, once you get used to it, it's not bad.
It's not bad. Okay. Well,
The only problem is every morning they have to get a large spatula and just sort of scrape me up.
yeah. Wow. Well, Speaking of large spatulas, we've got a guest coming up after the break. Sal, I think this will cheer you up. I mean, you're not too down in the dumps, but like this, we could use a little bit of levity. It's been a heavy couple weeks for us lately.
It has.
Ever since we got back, I would say it's
Ever since we were just dropped 5 years into the future.
yeah. So much layered continuity, guys. Keep up, everybody. So like I wanted something light today. I wanted something easy. So I got us a guest. And we'll have them back after we hear an ad from the Pod Cavern. All right.
All right.
Have you ever seen those lists on the internet that's like top 5 sandwich toppings, top 5 movies of the year, top 5 celebrities who have a very punchable face? You know what I'm talking about. The point is, all these lists drive us crazy because we have no idea who made them and how they even narrowed down their top 5 list. That's where my podcast comes in. My name is Tung La, and I am the host of Ranked, top 5 lists of stuff that don't matter. In every episode, with the help of a motley crew of self-proclaimed experts, we debate, battle, and work together, showing you the entire process of how we got there, to create a top 5 list of any and every topic we can think of, like top 5 brunch menu items, top 5 fictional dogs, top 5 90s songs, top 5 Steves? The list goes on, and we will not rest till we rank basically everything. So join us every second Thursday in the Pod Cavern for Ranked, top 5 lists of stuff that don't matter.
Top five.
Yeah. So we get you a couple like big iron-on patches, something cool like a design you like, and we just cover up each of the holes. To upper shirt, middle shirt, and then the seat of your pants from those hot rock burns. And I think you could have a pretty snazzy look.
I like the suggestion, I truly do. But the example iron-on patch you're showing me, born to be mild, just seems a little insulting.
Oh, really? All right. Hey, well, what about keeping it medium?
That one's better.
That one's better. Okay, we will find something for you. We'll find something for you. All right, Sal, I promised you before the break a guest, and I did not lie. As you can see across the table, we have a guest. Everyone listening at home, please welcome to the show Kenny Splitz, a local mini donut stand operator at a local fair. Kenny, welcome to the show.
Thanks so much for having me. It's so good to meet you, Angus and Sal. I'm such a fan. Listen all the time. I mean, there was that 5-year break, hard for the fans, but we're so glad you guys are back.
Oh wow, so you're a fan of the show?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I always imagined when I came here, I would sit at a table with a little microphone right there. But right now, I'm just holding your arm and speaking into that, and it's kind of everything I imagined it would be.
Yeah. Well, and I appreciate that. That's a really tight grip you've got there. Let me get you. I've got some cables here.
Sorry, I can loosen up just a little bit. Sorry.
No, it's hey, I appreciate the excitement. I like what you're going through,
Amazing.
Kenny. So Sal, you don't know this, but Kenny approached me on the street the other day, recognized me, and asked if he could be on the podcast. So I brought him on. Figured why not? I wanted to learn a bit more about what he does in Super City as a mini donut stand proprietor, operator, whatever the technical term is.
I guess it'd be more of a employee.
Angus, could I have a quick aside? It's very nice to meet you, Kenny. Sorry, Angus.
Yeah, sure.
No worries.
Excuse us for just a moment, Kenny.
Hey, it's okay. I'll give you back your arm.
Thank you, Kenny.
Is this what we sunk to? Many donut stand operators.
Look,
from our local fair.
I just thought it's a unique perspective that we haven't explored before.
I'm gonna take a stance right now.
Oh, okay.
That will not shake until the end of this episode. I do not like fair people.
Oh God, I didn't realize this. You didn't. You have an issue with like carnivals and fairs and stuff like that. Well, hey,
there's a story to it. Maybe we'll get to that story by the end of this episode. Time permits.
I mean, I certainly hope so. But okay, please.
I will put up with it for you.
Look, I
am not impressed.
Thank you, Sal. First of all, thank you. I appreciate you putting in the effort to at least try this. And secondly, admittedly, I've only known Kenny for a few minutes, but let's give him a chance. Okay, let's give him a chance.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Oh, Kenny, sorry, you can come rejoin us at the table.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you, Kenny. All right. So, thank you for that,
Oh,
Kenny. We just
amazing.
had to do
So
a quick technical talk.
no, all good. I mean, it's a beautiful corner of the room over there to look in the blank corner of.
Now, Kenny, I got a question for you. How does it
Yeah.
feel to be a outcast degenerate of society?
Okay, so first of all,
Well, no, I can take that one. I can take that one. Honestly, okay. I like me donut making.
good.
That's probably the best part of the gig.
yeah. So yeah. So to maybe help Sal and I understand what it is you do. You work at a fair and you make not regular sized donuts. You make mini donuts at a stand. Can you tell us a bit more about
Yeah,
that?
that's totally it. So the thing is, I started at the fair when I was 17 at the fair district, of course. We have sort of activities everywhere, but I was built to make mini donuts. The best part about mini donut is the fact that you can eat as many as you would like, and it's the size of a regular donut. So it's just kind of this wholesome thing. And I was always a guy who would have a single donut and go, gosh, I ate that in 5 bites. But with a mini donut, you're forced to eat one at a time. And if I'm having 10 mini donuts, that's the size of a regular donut, basically. And I get 10 bites of donuts.
So I just wanted to touch on something really quick for our listeners at home because they obviously can't see you. You said you were built.
Well, I was built. I was created to make mini donuts.
I see.
Is the thing.
I
That's
see.
kind of what I was made to do. I was built in the metaphorical sense, but it was clear from the start when I sort of existed. I knew I was made to do mini donuts.
No, I totally get that. I used to think I was built for podcasting, made for it, and now in a literal sense, I kind of am. So I totally get that, man.
That's awesome. That's
of
totally awesome. Sal, were you built for podcasting?
No, I was built to have patience, but only up to a limit,
Yeah.
and I'm reaching it. I've got a question for Kenny.
Sure, fire away.
Kenny, despite my apprehensions regarding your profession, your commentary on reasonably portioned bites of donut actually resonated with me.
Okay.
So, to that end, I have interest in what is your preferred donut to make.
Well,
out of the
Sal,
mini donut varieties.
I get asked this question quite often at the stand. People often are coming up to me asking, "What do I like to do? What brings me joy?" And that's the beauty of the Super City Fair. It's about the employees. It's not about the customers. It's about us. It's about the me's. And Sal, it's just cinnamon and sugar. It's the classic.
You son of a bitch! Come here!
Oh, Sal, please, come on, Sal, come on, control yourself. Look, we clearly have to dig into whatever it is going on here, but I just want to understand Kenny's situation a bit more. Okay, Sal, please, can you just...
Okay, I'll back off.
Just take a lap if you have to.
Thank
Get
you.
a cup of coffee, whatever it is you need, Sal. I'm so sorry about that, Kenny. This normally doesn't happen. I've honestly never seen him this fired up about it.
Honestly, if you saw me at lunch rush, I've gone beat up way worse.
So I just wanted to, because you're using some interesting language here when you're talking about the way you interact with this fair, and I wanted to kind of ask you, everyone in Super City has something that kind of makes them special. Obviously, I've got this podcasting thing in my back. Sal has a gravitational field around his waist. Do you have like a power or anything that you'd want to maybe share with us if you're comfortable?
My boss says I'm not supposed to talk about this. So
okay,
could we maybe agree to cut this out? I'm happy. I'm such fans of you both. I'd love to be able to talk about it.
Well, okay, so
he's good at editing things out.
Admittedly, the editing process with this organic podcasting kit I have is a little bit tougher. So I'll tell you what, I will give it a shot.
I
I'll tell you what, I'll
fully
give it a
trust
shot.
you unconditionally,
Thank you.
Angus. I've listened to your
Good,
show
I'm
for so
glad.
long. Like, there's no
Good.
way that this could go wrong for me.
No, please.
Okay, so I'm not the only Kenny Splitz.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
You know how a donut, you can have 10 mini donuts that form the same size of a full donut.
Sure, yes.
Think
Yeah.
of me like a donut,
Mini
but
donut.
I'm 87 mini Kenny Splitz that form one.
Gotcha. Okay. So Kenny,
Yeah.
the Kenny entity that's
Yeah,
in
it
front
feels
of
so
you.
weird to say that. I'm sorry. I
No,
can't.
dude.
I haven't said that in so long. This feels amazing.
I'm glad you can feel honest enough to share that with Sal and I. I want to understand how this works a bit, because I'm honestly, I'm such a big fanboy for powers and how they interact with each other, and honestly how we make a city work around this. So I'd love to ask you a little bit more about this. And of course, I'll give a real honest effort at trying to cut this part out.
I
Okay?
know, and look, I really can't tell you how bad it would be for me if it came out, and I trust you
Well,
unconditionally, but I'm really worried. My boss Greg has told me time and time again that the whole fair could come down if this were to come out, and
gotcha.
you know,
Now
like,
your boss Greg isn't one of the Kennys.
no.
Okay,
Greg's a normal guy. Greg's great. I love Greg.
Greg?
We all love
Okay.
Greg. We's
Okay,
love Greg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're smiling really hard. It feels a little insincere. Do you have issues with Greg?
We're gonna cut this part out, right?
Yeah, totally. I will give it a shot. Yeah.
Yeah, the fair is run by the 87 versions of me
Uh-huh.
and Greg. And that's it.
And Greg at the top.
Greg at the top and all of us sort of in the trenches. And I love Greg. I love Greg, of
Mhm.
course. By keep being told I'm gonna get promoted to management, one of me is,
Yeah.
and it hasn't
Yeah.
it hasn't happened. I've been at the fair for now 6
So-
years.
So you are wow, that's a long time to work at a fair, man.
Yeah, well, every time I go
Good on
away,
ya.
Greg says, "Well, the whole fair district would collapse if you left," and honestly, he's right.
Oh, well, are you familiar with the concept of like gaslighting?
Is that like when you light the hot air balloon at the fairgrounds? Because I
guess
do
kind
that.
of.
Like I keep
Yeah.
one of me does.
Sorry,
that.
I heard hot air balloons. So I'm gonna rejoin.
Sal can't resist hot air balloons. Safest way to travel, you say, right, Sal?
I've yet to have an accident. The 3 times a year I go on vacation.
Okay. Well, Kenny, so because this is fascinating. I've never met anyone with a multiplying kind of power like this. Do you share a consciousness across all the Kennys, or once you split, you're your own Kenny?
So it's I can feel and see everything that's happening, but I also have my own input. The way I describe it is like
Yeah.
watching security cameras. So I see everyone's
wow.
perspective right now, and we've instituted a mandatory blindfolding policy for folks who aren't actively working, so that it doesn't sort of come at you too fast.
Sensible.
Yeah, we've sort of we started with that, and now we're throwing ourselves in sensory deprivation chambers just to sort of
Mhm.
cut out all of that feedback when we're on break.
Yeah.
Which once again,
Yeah.
Greg set that up. Good man, Greg.
Yeah.
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 But yeah, I feel everything, and I'll admit it's led to some challenges. Once again, we're cutting this out, right?
Yeah, I will give it a shot for sure. Yeah.
Okay, great, because I something
Yeah,
else
yeah,
has
it'll
been
be
weighing
bad
on
for
me.
you.
Yeah, and it would be
Oh, what's
really
that?
bad. The Stampede last year,
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's right. That
Yes.
bad one. Yeah, that was bad. Yeah.
that was my fault.
Oh no, Kenny.
That was
what
four of
happened?
us. I was busy thinking about the hot air balloons and the roller
Yeah.
coaster ride, and with the
Understandable.
switch at the roller coaster especially, and just general, the machinery here is so old. You really have to give it a shove. And
Mhm.
at the same time that I got confused. I thought I was sort of controlling the rides, but what I was really doing was shoving the bulls as hard as I could out of their fences and cages, and
Yeah.
it sort of launched a chain reaction. And that was my bad. I didn't have my morning coffee that day, and Greg told me, God, you gotta have your morning coffee, and God, don't ever let that happen again. And he was right for that. That was my bad. But yeah, it's led to some challenges for sure.
It kind of reminds me of like when you're playing like a co-op like video game together, and everyone's on the same screen, and you start looking at the wrong character and thinking you're like, oh, I'm doing really well, but then you realize you're the guy in the corner just walking into a wall. Is that a fair kind of comparison?
That's totally fair. And the tough part with this one is that of course all of us Kennys were trying to look a little different. We're mixing up hairdos and stuff. And it was real embarrassing one time because one of us actually got engaged just a couple months ago, and
oh wow,
was engaged. That didn't go so well because we kind of when you forget what screen you're looking at when you're playing a game. Worst consequence, you lose the round. Here we lost the love of this Kenny's life. And
all those
we all
people
take
in that
responsibility for that.
Yeah.
We all have to.
Yeah.
We live with that every day.
Well,
we're gonna cut this part out, right?
Kenny,
totally. I will give it a shot.
Amazing.
Kenny, you've done an excellent job of demonstrating the continued incompetence of fair workers.
Okay.
Thanks for coming in today, and it's been a really great episode.
No, wait, hang on, Sal. I wanted.
Oh, you want to drag this on?
I do. Well, yeah, I do, because I'm seeing my friend here, you, Sal, my friend, and you're behaving in a way that it kind of clashes with the Sal I know. So I want to get to the bottom of this.
Yeah.
What is your issue with fairs and the people therein?
Thank you, Angus. This is what makes you a pro in the podcasting business. This is why people talk about you. This is why I'm such a fan. Sal, go ahead.
My issues with fair workers stems from an incident that occurred 6 years ago.
Oh wow! So
Right
before we left.
A
year before we left.
Oh.
6 years ago.
Kenny just went pale.
I was waiting to go into my favorite fair attraction that I had saved up all my money for the year to go and see. I wasn't paid a lot back when I worked for the Superhuman Action Response Team.
That's right, yeah.
I wanted to go and see the Hall of 86 Mirrors. But
oh no,
there was some negligent fair worker that let in one too many people, and unfortunately, some poor sod got trapped inside the hall when it inevitably collapsed from overcrowding.
Oh no.
Poor individual's body was never recovered from the Hall of 86 Mirrors.
Oh wow.
And
oh my god.
And that day I learned 3 things. 1, I would never once again get to go back to my favorite place. 2, fair workers are incompetent and only lead to the deaths of others. And 3, you've never heard the screams of someone being crushed by 86 mirrors until you witness it. It's
wow. That's a powerful lesson.
it's a powerful lesson.
Oh my
Sal,
god.
I've got a lot of questions for you. And I'm also got some questions for Kenny here. First of all, Sal, super quick. Why do you like the Hall of Mirrors so much?
Because when you look at one mirror, you'll be tall and skinny. But if you go to another mirror, you're short and fat.
Gotcha. This is just it's a good wholesome fun.
It's a fun interactive experience on how light optics works. You know, it's just
okay. Well,
great,
I appreciate that. Okay, I appreciate that. I guess
arguably the most educational exhibit at a fair.
Arguably, yeah. I mean, totally, yeah. Kenny, my question for you, little more serious than my question for Sal.
Yeah.
Do you remember this event? And was there do you recall this event at all?
Well,
this tragedy.
I remember nothing before I was 17. And this is starting to put a lot of pieces together in a frankly terrifying way. Because I thought what Greg told me was that one day I came into the fairground and said, I'd like to work at the mini donut stand. And he made the same analogy that I made about being many mini donuts in one donut. And then there were 87 of me. 86.
Okay.
I try and count myself sometimes as 2 because it's a way of sort of standing above. I think we all do that, and I can hear a bunch in the background saying, "Oh my god, you jerk." Anyways, they're hilarious. They're such a gag. They're such a ball of laughs.
Oh, okay. So they can all hear what you're saying right now.
Yeah. Oh, they're. If I can be honest, some of them aren't huge fans of the pod. I'd say we probably got a 20-80 split. 20% fans, 80% just hate this thing. And
I get it. It's
you're
an
lucky,
acquired taste.
You're lucky you ran into me, because if one of my others had seen you, I don't know what kind of words they would have had for you. And I
sentiment
will
shared across much of the city.
So so Kenny, because I'm starting to connect some dots here, but I don't want to do anything that would, blow your mind too much, or maybe traumatize you.
Minds is the thing. That's always the danger here. Is if one goes, we're all gonna feel it.
Okay.
And when we saw the finale of The Walking Dead season 2, when they said, "Oh my gosh, you're all infected," we were out of commission for a week, because everyone just sort of repeating would think about what that meant for the rest of the show and the universe, and it's brutal.
Absolutely.
So we're not great with surprise twists or anything. But that's fine.
Okay.
I trust you. You're a pro podcaster.
Yes, I thank you. So I'm going to try and approach this as delicately as possible. Do you think, because the correlation of these numbers here, it's too hard to ignore. One person goes into a hall with 86 mirrors, and then you're an entity that is made up of 87 parts, maybe one original and a bunch of reflections. Do you think maybe you were that boy at that hall of mirrors?
Are you the one who ruined my favorite attraction?
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Oh, Kenny, your nose is bleeding. Do you want this Kleenex?
Yeah, sure. Okay, I'm gonna need 3 seconds just to sort of go into myself here for a second.
Sure. His eyes are rolling back into his head.
His eyes are totally white now.
It looks like he's using his hands to navigate around a space.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm back.
Wow.
I forgot something, and it all makes sense now. When we came back, we had one wallet that was our sole possession, and on the ID looked like all of us, and we sort of shared around whoever's going out for bar night. That's a whole other sort of hijink.
Yeah, of course.
It didn't say Kenny Splitz on it. It said Kenny Hole with a W in front.
Of course, Kenny Hole. Wow.
And it's all sort of, oh my god, Greg.
Hey,
I'm sorry. I'm really bleeding out this nose. Oh my gosh. Oh, we're all bleeding out of our noses right now. This is bad.
I think this would make for great podcasting. Can you just tell us what some of your other copies are doing kind of right now while they're figuring this out?
Yeah, well, the hot air balloon is going down for sure. They've abandoned ship on that one. We're all convening. I think we've all agreed to convene at the mini donut stand, and I'm just getting glimpses of the fair, and it is bad. Okay. It's real bad.
I want you to breathe.
Okay, yeah.
Kenny, breathe. Take a deep breath. Kenny, I want you to think about this. If this is you, if you're that boy, if you are Kenny Hole, I think you should get together with all your guys, get together with all your copies, and maybe this might make you happier if you could reincorporate all of each other. If you could just maybe one big group hug would do it. I don't know if we got to smash you guys into mirrors or something, but I think
I would love to do that part. Can I smash the fair workers into mirrors?
Okay, Sal, but then you'd be breaking your mirrors, the things you love.
The thing I love is already dead.
Ever since we remade the Hall of Mirrors, it just hasn't been the same. I totally agree with
the Hall of 85 mirrors.
No thanks.
It's been a little bit embarrassing. Most of them just make your nose slightly smaller. It's nothing.
Wow.
It's nothing.
Most of them do that.
That's most. There's one that makes your leg sort of twitch because it's
just one leg.
One leg. It's not balanced properly. I guess I have to go back and talk to all of them.
At the very least, if you guys don't physically get back together, I think you should consider, unionizing. You know, you've got the, like, if you keep this fair alive, it's you guys against Greg and Sal. Maybe you can get on board with this. I think at the very least to turn this fair around, because honestly, you're putting a lot of this on Kenny, but it sounds like this is a Greg thing. You know what I mean? This sounds like a Greg. Greg is at the top of this, and it's his oversight that probably caused this thing to collapse, right?
Poetically, it is rather nice that if you can't reunite as a single entity, that you could at least organize into a collective entity.
There you go.
Which is thematically I'm on board with, but once again, these are fair workers, so I'm just opposed to it in general.
No, I know. I'm trying to get you guys at least somewhere on common ground.
No, I know what you're trying to do. I'm not appreciating it. Continue, Kenny.
Well, Sal, I'm so sorry that I'm the source of all of this. If I had known when I went into that mirror house as the extra person and had proceeded to sort of shove every mirror as hard as I can, that this would be the result, that you would be the result, I might have done differently. I was a hooligan then. I was a hooligan, and I apologize for that. You know, Kenny Hull.
Maybe that wasn't Kenny Hull.
Kenny Hull was clearly not the kind of guy Kenny Splitz is, and I'm sorry for that. And I think you're right. We talked to Greg about getting into management. We've talked to Greg about getting a raise. He gave us a raise. We got $1 more, but we're all paid off of one salary because he says you're all one person. So we went from $8 to $9, and it is, the living conditions are not hospitable for this number of people. So maybe we can talk. Maybe we can figure this out. And I mean, if Greg doesn't want to, we control the fair, we control the bulls, we control the hot air balloon, and we can just depose him ourselves.
That's true. You guys could revolt, you know? Mm-hmm. Last thing, just want to throw it out there. Another commonality I'm seeing between you guys. If you can't unite with all your copies, because, you know, it seems like there are slightly different personalities. If you can't reunite with them, you could take the Highlander approach and just kill them all until you're the last one left. Now, Sal, you recently killed a copy of yourself.
It's true, I did.
Any advice?
Oh, you're the one who killed the clone.
That's me, yeah.
We have not felt good about that news. It's made us all a bit on edge. I know that this is a whole other thing, and I know I'm about to try and either start a revolution or just a battle royale for the top Kenny Splitz.
Yeah.
So I don't want to dive into it, but that I just want you to think about what it means for all us clones when one can be killed and the police of Super City do nothing about it, right?
Kenny, you raise an interesting point. The moral and ethical dilemmas surrounding killing one's clone are near infinite. I won't pretend that I'm innocent of killing another, even if that other was myself. I won't pretend I'm guilty because the person I killed was literally called Evil Sal.
That's true. It was slightly different, yeah.
But above everything else, what I need you to understand, Kenny, is that your opinion means so infinitesimally to myself that your disappointment, while palpable, is nothing. It's a nothing to me.
Yeah.
It's 1/87th of a nothing to me.
I'm sorry, Sal. You know what? I hope that you know that you're never riding on a hot air balloon in Super City again. We're going to personally make sure that never happens again.
You can't do that.
And I also
fight against yourself. It's going to be tough. I will ruin you.
I think that's going to be quite interesting because you'll have to ruin all 86 of us. And good luck on that one. Look at yourself. Take a moment. No, take a moment and look at yourself, Sal. Take a moment and think about how you are.
Okay.
I'm talking to every other carny on this planet, every other hot air balloon operator. We have networks, and you are never riding on a hot air balloon again. That's a promise. That's an oath. That's an oath from 86 Kenny Splitz and the Kenny Hull, whoever that one may be.
I thought I had finally put down my sword, but it seems that Sal Bedfellow is going to war against the carnivals one more time.
Well,
Kenny, you will have your fight. And I will have my hot air route. I will have my hot air balloon ride in this life or the next.
And we look forward to it.
Wow. Well, that's going to do it for us here at Heroes Don't Do Paperwork. If you're listening at home, try to do the right thing. Thanks, Kenny, for coming on the show.
Such a fan, Angus.
like
Thank you so much for having me on. This was
Good,
this was huge for me.
Good. I'm glad. I feel like we kind of.
We're really happy you could make it out today.
Oh, thank you, Sal.
Hey, I was happy I could face an enemy in the eyes and establish that clearly.
Oh, go slip into a deep fryer.
Maybe this rivalry will be good for you guys, you know? Hey everybody, Angus here. As always, Sal Bedfellow was played by Matthew Wally. Kenny Splitz was played by Alexander Wozny. Alex is an improviser in Ottawa, and you can follow him on Twitter at Alexander Wozny. If you like the show and want to support it, or any of the other shows on the Podcavern Network, head on over to podcavern.com and check out our merch store. We've got lots of cool hats, hoodies, t-shirts, stuff like that. Anything you buy there helps us keep the lights on here. Thanks for listening.